Look at that man. He drives a 7-year-old Honda. He packs his own lunch. He shops at the same grocery store you do. He waves at his neighbors. He wears no Rolex. He flies economy. You probably wouldn't look twice at him. He is worth $38 million. We live in an age of performed wealth. Every day, billions of people scroll through an endless highlight reel of luxury. Watches, cars, penthouses, champagne, carefully curated and relentlessly broadcast. We have been trained, almost surgically, to believe that wealth looks a certain way. Loud, visible, polished. But what if that's the biggest financial lie of our time? What if the wealthiest people you will ever encounter are the ones you will never, ever notice? This is the story of stealth wealth, a psychology, a philosophy, and a strategy so counterintuitive, so quietly radical, that it challenges everything modern culture has taught us about money, status, and what it means to truly succeed. And once you understand it, you cannot unsee it. To understand stealth wealth, you first need to understand what it's rebelling against. In 1899, a Norwegian-American economist named Thorstein Veblen coined a phrase that would define the next century of human behavior: conspicuous consumption. The idea was simple and devastating. People don't just buy things because they need them, they buy things to be seen buying them. A century later, Veblen's theory didn't just survive, it got a smartphone and 1 billion followers. Conspicuous consumption is a type of consumption behavior aimed at displaying one's wealth and status, which may impose an economic burden and a negative psychological impact on consumers. And yet, we all do it, or at least we feel the pressure to. Here is the catastrophic irony of the modern economy. The people most visibly performing wealth are often the furthest from actually having it. And the people who are quietly, deeply wealthy, most of them look nothing like what you see on your screen. Research into America's true millionaire class confirmed what most financial planners suspect but rarely say out loud. Most of the truly wealthy in this country don't live in Beverly Hills or on Park Avenue. They live next door. Next door. In the ordinary house, with the ordinary car, with the unremarkable life that nobody photographs. Something has gone deeply wrong. In the last decade, social media has turned status signaling from a neighborhood sport into a global competition, with no finish line. You're no longer just keeping up with the Joneses on your street. You're keeping up with 3 billion people, all of them showing you only their best moments. In today's digital age, social media platforms have become the breeding ground for social comparison. We are constantly bombarded with carefully curated images of others' seemingly perfect lives, which can lead to feelings of envy and inadequacy. Envy, the dark side of social comparison, can have a toxic impact on our mental well-being and overall happiness. And it is costing us, not just emotionally, but economically. While conspicuous consumption may offer temporary gratification and a sense of status, research suggests that it does not necessarily lead to long-term happiness and well-being. In fact, studies have found that individuals who prioritize material possessions and engage in conspicuous consumption tend to experience higher levels of stress, anxiety, and lower life satisfaction. The pursuit of material wealth often comes at the expense of meaningful relationships, personal growth, and overall life fulfillment. We are spending money we don't have to impress people we don't know, to perform a version of success that doesn't actually exist. Meanwhile, across town, or maybe right next door, someone is doing the exact opposite, quietly, deliberately, and getting richer every single month. Stealth wealth is not poverty. It is not self-denial. It is not fear. It is a deliberate, psychologically sophisticated decision made by people who understand something the rest of the world hasn't figured out yet. The less you perform wealth, the faster you actually build it. You become more wealthy if you're not spending money trying to look wealthy. Think about what that sentence actually means. Every dollar you spend projecting an image of success is a dollar that is not growing, not compounding, not working for you while you sleep. The science behind stealth wealth is rooted in behavioral psychology. The practitioners of quiet money have mastered several key mental disciplines that most people spend their whole lives struggling against. The first, resistance to lifestyle inflation. As income grows, the natural human tendency is to expand expenses proportionally. This phenomenon is known as lifestyle inflation. Stealth wealth practitioners combat this by actively capping their living expenses at a specific, comfortable baseline. If they receive a significant raise or a corporate bonus, the additional capital is instantly diverted. It goes directly into their automated investment pipeline. Their standard of living remains stable, while their wealth acceleration curve steepens. The second discipline, emotional regulation. One of the most revealing signs of stealth wealth isn't what people own, it's how they react to financial stress. This emotional stability comes from preparation. They've built buffers. They've planned for downturns. They're not one paycheck or one investment away from disaster. Psychologically, this reflects emotional regulation, the ability to stay steady when outcomes are uncertain. Ironically, this calm often makes them seem less wealthy, because anxiety is so often mistaken for ambition. And the third, perhaps the most psychologically powerful of all, they've stopped trying to prove anything. They don't need admiration. They don't need envy. They don't need external confirmation that they're doing well. Their sense of success is internal. In a culture that has confused visibility with value, that is a revolutionary act. Meet the people who cracked the code. There's a woman in Salt Lake City. She's been a middle school teacher for 27 years. She drives the same Corolla she bought in 2009. She clips coupons, not because she has to, but because she enjoys the game. Her colleagues assume she lives paycheck to paycheck. She has $2.4 million in index funds. There's a retired plumber in Ohio. He and his wife raised 3 kids in the same 1,400 square foot house they bought in 1987. He wore the same jacket for 12 years, not from stubbornness, but from indifference to what people thought. He paid off his mortgage at 52. He travels 3 months a year. These are not rare exceptions. According to researchers who spent decades studying America's millionaire class, many live in average neighborhoods, drive motor vehicles that are not the latest models, and avoid excessive use of credit cards. And crucially, 80% are first-generation millionaires. Only 17% went to private schools. More than half never received even $1 in inheritance. They didn't inherit it, they quietly built it. And here's what makes their stories even more extraordinary. Many of our clients live a relatively modest lifestyle, but have millions of dollars. In spots with high cost of living, think California and New York, some of the wealthiest people keep the lowest profiles to protect their privacy. In San Francisco, there are a lot of folks with astronomical amounts of wealth who you would have no idea could spend the amount of money that they're able to. But stealth wealth isn't just about building money faster. There are darker, more human reasons why the quietly rich choose invisibility, and they are reasons most people never think about until it's too late. The moment people know you have money, the nature of every relationship in your life changes. There is a sense of privacy, and fewer assumptions from friends and family. You don't have to wonder if people are hanging out with you because of your bank balance. This calculated understatement shields high net worth individuals from financial opportunists, social isolation, and targeted fraud. At the same time, it allows their capital to grow unencumbered by lifestyle inflation. And there is something else, something that goes to the core of what wealth actually does to a person when it's performed rather than protected. Those who inherit wealth and live lavish lifestyles often feel quietly insecure about sustaining it. Yet the mass media tends to focus on such sensational, flashy lifestyles, shaping our mistaken perception of how the wealthy live, and promoting a high-consumption culture that impoverishes many in the younger generation. The performance of wealth, the Lamborghini, the designer clothes, the Instagram flex, is often the loudest signal not of abundance, but of insecurity. Over time, the truly wealthy learn that anonymity is a form of luxury, one that money can buy, but status often destroys. Here is the twist, the inversion, the truth that changes everything. In our culture, the people who look the richest are often the ones running the fastest just to stay in place. And the people who look the most ordinary are sometimes the ones with the most genuine freedom. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest humans who ever lived, still lives in the same house in Omaha, Nebraska that he bought in 1958 for $31,500. He is still in that house. And Bill Gates wears a $10 watch and eats at regular burger joints while maintaining his billionaire status. These are not men who can't afford more. These are men who have discovered something priceless. That the race to signal status is a race with no finish line. That every upgrade triggers a new hunger. That the hedonic treadmill, the psychological machine that ensures you always want just a little more, cannot be satisfied through consumption. It can only be escaped. This aligns with ideas around non-attachment, the ability to enjoy success without clinging to the identity of a successful person. They still enjoy their money. They just don't outsource their self-worth to it. Now, look again at the man we met at the very beginning. But this time, you'll now see him differently. He is not performing freedom. He is living it. We stand at a strange crossroads in human history. Never before have so many people had access to the tools of financial growth, index funds, compound interest, digital banking, information, and never before have so many people been simultaneously manipulated into spending everything they have to look like they have more. In an era of constant comparison, stealth wealth is quietly making a comeback. Social media visibility and economic uncertainty have made conspicuous wealth more socially risky and more financially destructive than ever. The stealth wealthy are not retreating from life. They are not ascetics or minimalists performing simplicity as another form of status. A stealth wealth lifestyle tends to come with less stress and more flexibility because there's so much wiggle room in the budget. As it turns out, living aggressively below your means matches financial planning advice to keep costs low even as your income rises. They have simply decided, quietly, deliberately, powerfully, to play a different game. True millionaires practice stealth wealth by adopting a simple, less flashy lifestyle that helps them save more and work less. They spend according to their values, not to impress others. So here is the question I want to leave you with. Not a question about money, but about meaning. When you make your next purchase, when you post your next photo, when you reach for the designer label, or the flashier car, or the bigger apartment you can barely afford, ask yourself, who am I doing this for? Because if the answer is for other people, you're not building wealth. You're renting the illusion of it, one expensive, depreciating, exhausting month at a time. The wealthiest person you will ever meet might be the quietest one in the room. They're not hiding. They're just not performing.